Hi everyone. So in project 3 I suggested that you you're required to insert your graph into your Google Doc, but that is easier said than done because your graph also needs to have titles. And so I just wanted to do a quick demo on how you can do that. So this is the Desmos website, and you just have to click on the big button that says Launch Calculator. I'm going to just type any random function in there. And then after you get your function in here that you're using for the project, you're going to want to do the settings for it. Projector mode actually isn't bad because it makes everything darker. And then you're going to want to adjust your window so that it's useful. This is a real world problem. I don't really need to see much except for the first quadrant. So maybe I would do that, and then maybe I want a lot of y. So just for this problem, I'm just showing you how you can adjust things, maybe like that. Okay, so once I have it in a way that I like it, I'm going to go ahead and copy it. Okay, so if you're using Windows 7 or Windows 8, there's this tool called a snipping tool. And so if you click on your Windows icon, and then you'll either see it right there somewhere in this list, or you can type the word snipping tool and you'll find it. So this is the easiest way, snipping tool. If you're using a Mac or an older PC, you can download a free software app called Jing, J-I-N-G, that will also let you do this, or you can just do a screen capture on those devices. So I'm just going to make a box around the part of the graph I want. I want to be able to see the scale. So let's say I do that. And then here's my file. Now I can save it or I can copy it. So I'm just going to copy it. And then I'm going to go over to my project. This is a copy of the project. And I'll scroll down to where I want to insert it into the project. So what I've been recommending is you insert a drawing. So when I have a drawing, I get this drawing canvas, and I'm going to paste it by just doing Control V to paste. So there's my graph. Now it's important that you make it look in this window. So the first thing I do is I drag it so that it's up in the top left corner. And then I want to resize it so that I don't have to move the drawing window around. So I'm going to just make it smaller so that I can see the whole thing in the window. So once I can see the whole thing in the window, then I'm going to add titles to my graph. So for the y-axis is population in thousands, right? Or is it millions? Millions of people. And so that's my text box. And then this little circle at the top lets you rotate it. So I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees. And then I drag it to the side. There. Great. And then I want my x-axis to also have a text box. And that's the x is the number of years after 1990, right? Because times 0 corresponds to 1990. There's my little hint if you watch this video to make sure you did that correctly. And then the last thing you want to put in here is a title for your graph. Okay, and so let's see. Now this is your own explanation of what this graph shows, and so I would say population growth after 1990. Maybe something like that. It doesn't have to be super complicated. You can adjust the font if you want. So let's make it bigger since it's the title. Stretch that box out. Okay, so then when I like it, I hit save and close, and it puts it in there for me. And then I can resize it if I don't like how big it is in my document, and then delete the graph that's already there. My last comment is I teach this course in a hybrid format too, and so I've had a number of questions from my students regarding the domain and the range, and a lot of people are getting this incorrect. So when I say identify the domain for this function model, when I'm talking about the function model, I'm talking about the entire word problem, not just the function itself, but the context of the function. So the domain should not be all real numbers, because that makes absolutely no sense for this. You need to read the scenario and tell me the domain for this function model for the given scenario. So that's for this question here, for 1b. And then when you go down to part 3 and you talk about the, part 2, when you talk about the range for this function model, the range should only be within the domain that you specified above. So a lot of people are getting this wrong, and it's a pretty important concept to understand. Domain is not just the function itself without taking notice of the context. The context is the most important part. The domain is based solely on the context. So that's it for me, and good luck completing your project. If you finish it early and would like me to preview it and let you know if I see any glaring errors, just send me an email and I'll take a look at it before Friday at midnight. Well, I probably will go to bed before midnight, so don't ask me at 10 p.m. to preview it. But I'll take a look if you just send me an email. Okay, good luck everyone, and let me know if you have any questions.